episode of Elle Capitain. Unfortunately, there's very limited video clips available since I only decided I was going to start doing this when it was already winter here in Georgian Bay. So we'll have to go with some pictures and some video that I already had on my iPhone. Anyway, this week we're going to look at some more projects I did before leaving for a week's vacation on the boat. So that includes, the first one is getting a new dinghy motor. Well, not new dinghy motor, getting a dinghy motor because I never had one, and it's definitely not new. The second one is installing an onboard battery charger so that we could use a generator to help charge up our batteries, since I only have 25 watts of solar at the moment. And then the third one is an autopilot, and I got all of these things secondhand off of Kijiji. So the dinghy motor cost me $150 from a friend of a friend. It's, I believe, a 1992 4-horsepower 2-stroke Evinrude. And when I first got it, I opened it up, checked out the carb, and gave it a little cleaning, then brought it right down to the dinghy. And it seemed to run okay. I'm not sure if you can notice, but in that video of the engine running, I'm actually holding the choke from inside because the engine came without the choke piece. I don't know what happened to it. It broke along the way throughout the years, I guess. So that was one of the first things I had to repair. I had to order the breather because the thing sounded like a lawnmower because the breather was gone. Some new spark plugs. And yeah, after that it seemed to run okay.
How do you like your new dinghy, Bobby?
You can see in that short little video that I'm taking my dog for her first cruise in her new motorized dinghy. There's really not a lot of water that was coming out of it, at least not at slow speeds, but it does get a lot more water pushed through when the engine's revving higher, which is when it needs it, I guess. So hopefully it's still okay. I might take it out this spring and see how the impeller's doing, but I might just leave it. We'll see. So as you can see in that short little video clip, I can actually get the dinghy up on plane with the 4-horsepower engine, so that's awesome. However, on that trip I was out because I had to go out of the marina, and I was up on plane, and then as I was coming back into the marina, the whole tiller handle actually fell off. Luckily it was still hanging by the throttle cable, so it didn't fall into the lake, but I had to hold it in my hand, dangling off the engine to make it back to the slip, and then that was the next project, was to reattach it on. So hopefully the engine will be good to go again. It's a lot easier to motor in when you're anchored way out from somewhere and the dog has to go to the shore to go to the washroom. Alright, let's look at the next project. Okay, so this was a dual bank battery charger that I scored off of Kijiji for 40 bucks. I didn't really know at the time that it was going to be such a good score because the person said there was no way to test it unless I was willing to bring a 12-volt battery out of my boat with me so we could plug it in and connect it up. So I just went on the assumption that hopefully they said it's working, so it's working. And when I brought it down to the boat, I installed it and it worked perfect. So that was a great $40 score from Kijiji. Unfortunately, I don't have any video of installing that, but as you can see in the pictures, I installed it, ran a cable through across the bottom of the cabin floor into where the second battery was, and plugged it in, and right away the voltmeter jumped right up, so that was all a success, and it was a great way to keep the batteries charged up with a little generator that we brought on board for when we were on vacation. This year, hopefully I won't need that, as I'm going to install 80 more watts of solar power. So I'll have 105 watts in total once that's done. So the third project I'm going to talk to you about is the autopilot. Again, this was something I found on Kijiji. It's super old. It's an so Auto Helm 800. It was before they started making the Raymarine autopilots, and I got that off Kijiji as well, $100. And the only problem is if you let the arm extend all the way out, so if you're not paying attention and the wind dies and the boat starts to drift, the autopilot will start to correct itself. The arm extends all the way out, and then it kicks the belt off on the inside. So you got to take out 4 screws, open it up, and put the belt back on. For the most part, though, I'm only using it just so that I don't have to be leaned over hanging onto the tiller, and I can kind of sit more relaxed. I'm still watching where I'm going and watching the sails and making sure I'm still on course. So it's not like when you're out in the ocean and there's all kinds of open space. Where I'm traveling on the lakes and in Georgian Bay and small channels and stuff is not really prime for just setting the autopilot and walking away from it. Not that I would recommend you do that at all. Okay, so those are 3 projects I did last summer that I found added a little extra creature comfort to using the sailboat. So that's the dinghy motor, $150, the battery charger, $40, and the autopilot for another $100. So for $290, I got all 3 things because I was able to search and be patient and wait for them on Kijiji. So I highly recommend that to anyone who's looking to just start boating or boat on a budget. It's always great. You can find lots of awesome secondhand stuff, so give that a try. I do apologize for some of the video quality here. Like I said, because the videos are old ones that I had from the past, a lot of them are on my phone, so that's why they're in that little corridor there. This summer I'll be taking more videos using the GoPro here, so that should be a lot better video quality, and I'll make sure that I take more videos of actually doing the project so I can share them with you guys. And then eventually my plan will be to kind of show you a lot of the anchorages that I like around Georgian Bay, and maybe you'll want to check them out yourself, or it's just nice for you to see some of the anchorages we have in our own backyard here in Ontario.